The tenets of democracy are skills for living in our society that include tolerance, critical thinking and decision-making, thinking together and making meaning, power sharing and empowerment, and individual responsibility and civil involvement with others. More information on this can be found in the Technology as Facilitator of Quality Education model. The students in this high school biology class are working on a research project. They will use the school's new computer microscopes and the internet to research a topic of their choice. The teacher shows the students the rubric she will use to evaluate their presentations. The teacher implements decision-making by having the students go over the rubric and decide on any changes the teacher should make. The students experience empowerment when the teacher gives them the opportunity to comment on the scoring rubric.
Let's look over your rubrics that I handed out for you. Do you have anything that you would like me to change?
The 15 slides.
Too many?
I think it should be very steep.
This whole thing is just
Hey, 15 is not bad.
I
think somebody could come up with 2 more slides in 15. Yeah.
Minimum required is 10. Maximum.
But you know we want to impress them, so we gotta get 15. Everybody wants.
So 15 is not outrageous? You don't need me to make any changes? All right, because you're going to be scoring each other using these too. Scoring yourself, scoring the other groups, and I will use the same thing. You like this?
Yes.
Okay, good. How about this group? You like this or you don't like this? I see you're examining it.
The students work in groups to explore the capabilities of the computer microscopes. The teacher promotes critical thinking in her interactions with the students. She asks one group of students questions about the capability of an organism to camouflage itself. She has them think about evolution and associate this concept with a popular movie. This helps the students connect their new knowledge to their prior experience.
What do you call it when an organism has the capability of camouflaging itself to look like something else over a long period of time? It doesn't just think about this idea and decide it wants to change its appearance. How do these organisms exactly? Evolution. And how does evolution come about to get things like that? Is it pre-planned, do you think, in the mind of the organism? How does it happen? How do you get something that looks different?
I think God does it, but I don't know.
Think about genetics. How do changes happen, even within simple organisms like spiders? What would you call it? There used to be a cartoon that had a name about some of these changes, and it involved turtles.
Ninja Turtles.
What was the full name of that?
Mutation.
So a mutation.
Africa's right high.
So it was an evolutionary change that occurred.
Africa, Antarctica, Alaska.
Well, wherever it was, there was a change that occurred in the body type of that organism that you remember.
Because that's what we studied.
Well, it's good that you can remember and connect that to what you're doing now.
The students work in groups to decide on research topics. The teacher encourages critical thinking by having the students write thesis statements and collect evidence to support them. The teacher asks one student to describe her understanding of a thesis statement to make sure the student understands the assignment.
Help you make a thesis statement. Okay, what is a thesis statement?
Sentence that leads you into the presentation or like a body and a detailed description of what the topic is, something like that.
Now let's narrow that down, all of that stuff that you just said. It is a sentence. One sentence?
Could be more.
Thesis statement. One sentence that tells what?
You need that about your presentation, your body.
It's going to tell everything that you're going to cover in an overview of your entire presentation of your research. So it needs to be broad enough so that it includes everything that you're covering. But it also has to be a little specific to identify precisely what you intend to do, your goal.
One group of students experiences decision-making when they decide how to handle the absence of one group member. The teacher encourages the group members to consider the benefits and the drawbacks of excluding the absent student from their project. The teacher promotes civil involvement with others by encouraging the students to show sensitivity to the absent student's needs.
So you want to wait until she's here? You can present part of what you have just for sharing and feedback for official grading. If you want to wait till another day, you can do that. You all decide.
Can we just cut her out?
Can you cut her out? You all discuss that. Would that be fair?
I'm saying on the presentation.
Would it be fair just to cut her out totally?
I'm saying on the presentation, right? Like, can we, me and Brandon.
So you don't want her to be in your group for the presentation?
She's not here.
I know she's
She doesn't
not.
like to talk.
Okay.
So it's probably just gonna, she's not gonna want to do it.
You decide. Are you going to cut her out of the project
No.
totally? She's done some of the research, right?
A lot of it.
She did a lot of the research? Okay.
I'm saying it'd be cool. Like if you would let me and Brandon present it and just let her go.
If that's what you decide, I will go with what you decide. You're telling me that you've observed that she's really quiet? Do you think...
Behind a book bag.
That's right. So if she hides behind her book bag and she's very quiet, does she need practice speaking in front of a group? Do you think that would help her to be more successful later? So I'll let you all go ahead and you can do the presentation today if you like. And then when she comes back, do you think maybe you can persuade her to stand up and speak a second time for the presentation? You could try.
I don't think she likes talking to us.
She like who talked to her?
Well, you two discuss it and see what you come up with. You probably know Natasha better than I do because you've been in school with her for several.
I don't know if talk
She's his
to us.
dad. Don't say nothing.
You discuss the benefits of doing it with her
You see just everything we see.
and without her.
There.
Now let's be sensitive though and think of her as a person and a contributor to the project.
The students experience power sharing and empowerment when they give their presentations for their classmates. The teacher gives the students the opportunity to share authority and responsibility.
Okay, there's the vein, there's the rest, and the quill is just this little hollow part at the end, and the downy portion is there. Oh wait,
Down at the bottom.
and then
No.
God, I can't even read anymore.
That's just rachis.
Yeah, rachis, and here's the barbs because they're big, and then the barbules which are smaller.
The teacher promotes critical thinking skills by asking the students to think about how their presentations fit into the course outline, and by encouraging them to apply their new knowledge and skills in future learning units.
Where would we put this in our course outline? Where would this best fit? Right now,
You could put it in like how animals evolve, adaptations, just general experimentation.
and we can use it when we study birds. So
And dinosaurs.
even though we're in our study of cells right now, and we started this project because the microscopes came in, and we're in the middle of cell study, we can use this information later in our course outline when we study birds and dinosaurs, and maybe other things too.